Throughout Egypt's history, from thousands of years ago to today, it has maintained a diverse culture, mixing their own traditions with influences from other countries in the world. It was the focus of ambition of foreign nations. Conquerors from many countries have ruled Egypt. Britain was the last colonial power to conquer Egypt. Then British forces withdrew in 1954. Egypt was then independent under the leadership of President Gamal Abdel Nasser. Unification was a major event in Egypt's ancient history. Upper and Lower Egypt were joined by King Menes in the 3rd millennium. From this began the Pharaonic Age, in which pharaohs ruled all of Egypt. The culture of pharaohs is preserved in the pyramids and in stories written in hieroglyphics on stone all over Egypt. A second major event was the Arab-Muslim conquest around 641 CE. This was one of the most influential factors in development of modern Egypt. This conquest led to the spread of the Arabic language and Islamic religion across Egypt. Today, Egypt is a democracy, and it is a very important nation in international affairs.
Egypt's weather is generally hot and dry, with hardly any rain or clouds. November to January are the most comfortable months for traveling to Egypt because the days are commonly warm and the nights are cool. Winter occurs from March to May, and the temperatures are moderate, averaging around 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, with occasional chilly evenings. Spring occurs from June to August and is generally hot, dry, and dusty. Summer occurs from September to November and is dry and hot with temperatures as high as 38 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Autumn occurs between December and February and is dry and hot. The only major differences between seasons are variations in daytime temperatures and changes in prevailing winds. Between March and June, an Egyptian weather phenomenon known as Khamsin brings high temperatures out of the Sahara Desert to the coast. Dust winds form in small but vigorous low-pressure areas and sweep across the northern coast of Africa. The winds blow intermittently and may continue for days, causing illness in people and animals, harming crops, and occasionally damaging houses and infrastructure. The best way to deal with Egyptian weather conditions is to dress with lightweight cotton or linen during the summers. Wool fabrics are ideal for winter and cool evenings. Be sure to bring sunscreen, sunglasses, and a sturdy hat, and drink plenty of water.
In Egypt, 92% of students attend public school. There are two kinds of public schools, Arabic and experimental. Arabic schools are taught in, as the name implies, Arabic. Experimental schools are taught in various languages, such as English or French. Free education is provided through college, although students must pay for uniforms and food. Public schools in Egypt often lack supplies and staff. Therefore, private schools or embassy schools are often a better option for students. Embassy schools follow the curriculum of whatever country the school is for. This is a great option for foreigners because you are learning what you would learn at home in your native country in your native language. These schools usually don't meet Egyptian requirements in Arabic, religion, and history, so these students may not get into an Egyptian college. Recently, there has been a large push for Egyptian students to attend college because the government guarantees a job if you graduate. However, the process may take years, and often these jobs are within the government.
Religion is a very important part of Egyptian culture. Over 90% of Egyptians are Muslim, with 7% being Christian and the rest either Jewish or Baha'i. Egyptians have some superstitions as well. The hand of Fatima is believed to ward off the evil eye, and it is a common thing to see on doors. Another Egyptian superstition is that a dog's howl foreshadows death or disaster. This is traced back to ancient Egypt, with the god of death, Anubis, having the head of a jackal. In the past, continuing in the present, Egyptians are very religious, and recently there has been a large push from conservative Muslims to make Islam the national religion. In Islam, you must pray 5 times a day towards Mecca. Living in Egypt, you will probably see people praying. It is important that you give them their space and leave them alone until they are finished. Muslims must fast during the holy month of Ramadan. During this time, you must not eat, drink, smoke, or chew gum during the daylight hours. Non-Muslims are not forced to follow this tradition. although it is recommended if you want to understand their culture. If you opt not to fast, it is considered extremely rude to eat or drink in public. However, when it is not the holy month of Ramadan, Egypt prepares exquisite dishes.
Egyptian cuisine is quintessentially Middle Eastern, reflecting North African specialties, Turkish and Mediterranean dishes, and Arabic influences. Meat, primarily lamb and chicken, are popular grilled or roasted, whole or minced. Saltwater fish from the Red Sea and Mediterranean Sea, like tuna, and freshwater fish from the Nile, like perch, are typically fried. Chickpeas and fava beans are stewed with garlic in many dishes. Traditional dishes include the shish kebab, which is chunks of meat grilled on skewers, and the falafel, which is fried chickpea and fava bean balls, both served on whole wheat pita bread. Vegetable condiments and salads like tahini, hummus, or baba ganoush are also eaten with pita bread. Baba ganoush is an extremely popular dish made with eggplant, garlic, lemon juice, ground cumin, salt, mint, and parsley. The most common vegetables in Egyptian cuisine include tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, potatoes, cabbage, okra, and cauliflower. Fruits like figs, dates, pomegranates, and oranges, as well as fresh fruit juices, are available anywhere. Unlike the rest of Africa, rice preparations are quite popular in Egypt. When Egyptians have guests over, they prepare elaborate and expensive meals. Egyptians eat finger food with the right hand. When they use Western utensils, mostly in large urban areas, they eat continental style, with the fork in the left hand and the knife in the right hand. Sometimes a person will not eat everything on the plate, because leftover food is a symbol of abundance and a compliment to the host for providing so well. In restaurants, food is left as a sign of wealth, indicating one can afford to leave food behind.
One of Egypt's biggest problems is poverty. The growth of slums has caused an increase in crime, violence, and forceful expressions of religious beliefs. The theft crimes, such as pickpocketing and purse snatching, are common all over Cairo. Additional crimes include embezzlement, tax evasion, and bribes to officials. Another major problem is the illegal use of drugs. Recently, Egypt has had issues with its government. Not only violent opponents, but also non-violent political opponents are being denied their political and civil rights in the government's attempts to maintain control. Egyptians have recently overthrown 2 of their presidents due to many violent uprisings. These uprisings have calmed down from their peak in 2012, and Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is the current president.
Dating is not generally the social norm, but it is becoming more acceptable. Things like holding hands, flirting, or phone calls are generally reserved for engaged couples. Because of the conservative and religious culture, public displays of affection are frowned upon, even among married couples. Marriages used to be arranged by parents, but now the children have more say, and they can reject an engagement if they want to. Egypt has one of the highest rates of divorce in the Middle East, and women are getting more freedom in getting a divorce. Egypt is getting more and more advanced technologically. Almost everyone has a cell phone, but internet is still on the rise. Around 50% of Egyptians have internet access. Egypt is gradually incorporating technology into their everyday lives, and it is working their way into their culture.
Egypt's unique and rich history from pharaonic times has helped shape the country's culture and is still preserved and displayed in Egypt today. In the past, and continuing in the present, Egypt has had a strong connection to religion, and it is at the core of almost everything they do. With influences from its former European conquerors, some aspects of Egyptian culture blend into other cultures across the globe, making the country very diverse. Whether it be different foods, different education system, different religion, or different weather conditions, do not be afraid to experience a different culture in another country. Because of its cultural diversity, there are similarities between some parts of their culture and others in the world, but Egypt still offers a new and fascinating lifestyle throughout the entire experience.